I said it earlier on today. I said it when it goes quiet like this. Something significant is definitely happening. We have major updates on the Jadon Sancho to Juventus situation right now. Who is in the running? What's happened? Have Juventus dropped out completely? Apparently, at the moment, that deal is off. Di Marzio has spoken. We got updates from Romano, from Sky. There is many different developments happening with Jadon Sancho right now. Update on Raheem Sterling as well, on where this leaves him and the situation with everything going on there at Chelsea and everything else going on with Manchester United. We're not going to hear about Scott McTominay or Manuel Ugarte until tomorrow. It's said now it's just dragging out a little bit too long for United to get things done, and the clock is ticking. We are edging ever closer, just over a day until a deadline day shuts. Are we going to be able to get Jadon Sancho out of the door? That is the big question tonight. We have major developments, like I said. We're going to keep you up to date with all of them and get you in the loop with what is actually going on right now. So, Manchester United, well, what hasn't happened this transfer window? First of all, actually, please do give the video a like. I want 1,100 likes. I've upped it by 100. I thought, you know what, we might as well, seeing as though we're trying to manifest Jadon Sancho leaving the football club. If you give the video a like, then Jadon Sancho will leave. That is everything that's going on right now, and that's what's going to happen. I promise you. Don't hold me to it, though. And of course, please do make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well to make sure that you miss nothing regarding Manchester United news, content, anything like that. It's all completely free. We are live 3 times a day, bringing you all of the updates from the market and everything going on with United. I did tell you earlier on there was a story going around. It was a bad injury for Mason Mount. And we were right. It is a bad one. It has officially been announced as well now that Mason Mount is out for several weeks. Here we go again. Let's get into the video and start talking Jadon Sancho, though. I want to get plenty of opinions in on this one. First of all, thanks to that donated membership, Tom, and that's gone to Adam. Couldn't have picked a better guy to pick that out. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Yeah, here we go. I have got a poll going right now as well, and this is a bit of a teaser. It's very close. There's already over 300 votes on this poll. It's been going mental before the stream even started. The deadline day outcome: Sancho Sterling swap, Sancho last gasp Juve deal, Sancho to Chelsea, no Sterling coming the other way, Sancho stays, Sterling goes to Arsenal. Because, yes, that is a story that's going around as well. And like I said, we've got way too much to get through. And what has just dropped over the last hour, it has been a quiet day, but we've now found out why it's been quiet, because there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. Now, Di Marzio was the one that dropped the early bombshell, the biggest bombshell of all, you could say, which was that Juventus are finding it too expensive to take Jadon Sancho to Turin. It isn't happening right now, and it is officially on hold. Very unlikely you will see Jadon Sancho in a Juventus shirt. That's the words from Di Marzio over in Italy. Lots of people have been saying, look, this deal was on. We talked about it yesterday. Juve are convinced. The Italian reporters were all going in on it yesterday. Then it switched around again. We talked about it possibly going down the Chelsea road this morning. I have seen a tweet from one Italian journalist in particular. You have to translate it. It was reading Sky actually pushing across the Chelsea move more than the Juventus one. And there is a reason why, because it now looks like Chelsea are the biggest chance of Jadon Sancho leaving. There is another story going around right now, though, and from one that's saying that Dortmund are actually going in for a last gasp offer on Jadon Sancho. Honestly, don't even bother Dortmund, because you haven't got enough money to take him. You're not dealing with the Myrtos and Arnolds now anymore. You're dealing with United, and we've already turned down a pretty hefty offer from Juventus. They cannot afford Jadon Sancho. It's as simple as that. The wages that these players are on at Manchester United, and we've got another issue with Lindelof on that as well we've got to get into. I keep forgetting there's that much news. Sorry, we'll get through it all, though, in the show. Back in the studio, back with your interactions and everything like that, guys. So keep your comments coming in. Keep your likes coming in, and please do hit that subscribe button. The biggest thing is that Juventus, at the moment, look pretty much done. They look done, and they look out of the race. The noises and the reports coming out of Italy from Di Marzio in particular and a few other journalists it's completely changed from yesterday. And negotiations at this stage of the window, like we've discussed before, can go sideways at any point. And I think it has done with Juve. It is just too much. There isn't enough there for Juventus. They've spent a lot of money already. The other players they're now looking to move other players on, and they're getting in the way of getting Sancho over the line. They just cannot fit Sancho into their finances, and United will not buckle on paying Jadon Sancho's wages, and this is a big problem. And Jadon Sancho himself, it's like seriously, I don't know. I don't know where he's going or what he's thinking right now. We said this earlier on today. I'm not even going to go in on Jadon Sancho in this part. My issue with Jadon Sancho was him pushing for Chelsea, a team that he knows he's not going to play or get game time for. We know that for certain. He's going to be second, third, whatever choice. I mean, they're doing a deal for Osimhen as well right now, Chelsea. So I don't know where Jadon Sancho fits in there. I don't know how he plays him, Maresca, but... that was my issue with Jadon Sancho. The issue that we've got right now is the numpties that were running the asylum before Ineos came in. Again, like Jadon Sancho's wages are always going to be a problem for any normal run football club. Someone paying the stupid money that United are paying is always going to be... he's always going to attract the wrong type of player. And that's what United have been doing over the last 10 years now. And Jadon Sancho is top of that tree now. He just sits on that wage, and a lot of people have said, look, we don't blame him. Like, honestly, he's on that amount of money. Like, why does he want to go? The problem we've got is it's not like we can blame Jadon Sancho for taking a pay cut right now. This is a loan that Juventus are offering. So Jadon Sancho is faultless in the fact that Juventus can't afford him, because you cannot change the wages of a player if you're loaning the player out. Look, one club can discuss how much they want to pay and the other can discuss how much they want to pay. But at the end of the day, the wages stay the same amount in total. That's not Jadon Sancho's fault. That is the football club's fault. That's Manchester United's fault, not Jadon Sancho. Sancho, in wanting to push for Chelsea, regardless of the wages situation, I've got an issue with, but not this. This isn't his fault, and this is United's fault. If Juventus can't afford him, no good. See you later. Move on. It now looks like Manchester United's only hope of moving Jadon Sancho on is Chelsea. Now, Sky and Damesh are saying, what I'm hearing is that Chelsea are the favourites and are talking to Manchester United for Jadon Sancho. He wants to go to Chelsea. Personal preference now. Everybody's pointing in the Chelsea direction. Staying in England and moving down south. That looks like the favourite right now, and that looks like where he wants to go personally. Now, obviously, that brings in the discussion regarding Sterling and whether United are going to do a swap regarding Sterling and Sancho with Chelsea. United are probably not as keen on that, simply because they don't want to deal with Sterling's wages. And Chelsea are not going to front the wages for Sancho, is what United want, and front the wages for Sterling, which is also what United want. Remember, Sterling comes to United only on Manchester United's conditions, nothing else. It has to suit them, or it isn't going to work at all. So I don't see United going out buying Sterling singly. I think it's a loan or a swap, and Sterling accepts the wages on a short-term contract. The offer is in place, but there's another twist on this now, and the other twist is that Arsenal apparently have thrown their name into the hat for Raheem Sterling, and apparently they have made an offer that he is considering going for. So they have laid their terms down. This is all reports. I'm not going to say this is a definite or anything like that, but you can see how awkward a situation this is now and why we've had this massive delay in any news coming out at all today. I thought today was going to be absolute craziness all the way through. It turns out, no. We have just got stalemate right now. Juventus have dropped away. Arsenal are in for Sterling as well, apparently. And now we're also hearing that Dortmund are going to throw their name back in for Jadon Sancho as well. It's all going on right now. And do you know what? I look at it and I go, the more this ticks over, the more it keeps on going and keeps on going, the more chance we are going to see Jadon Sancho still in a red United shirt come 11 o'clock tomorrow night. There is just too much going on right now. You'd expect someone to actually have made a deal or actually agreed a price, and Sancho would probably be on a flight somewhere or travelling somewhere to discuss terms. He's still training at Carrington, and nobody is any closer. And like we said at the top of the show, we are, a day and a half away from this transfer window slamming shut? Big problem. Massive problem for Manchester United, really, if they're looking to get rid of him, that is. I said earlier on, like, are United even bothered? They're in a comfortable position in terms of who they need through the door. The Agate deal is just hinged on the McTominay one. And obviously, the delay in that situation is simply because it has to be official and McTominay has to have signed the papers and the deal will be official before United can officially sign Agate and announce him. So everything is moving forward with them. The problem we've got right now is the Sancho situation, and the bonus that was might not actually happen now. And I just don't know which way this is going to go now. Yesterday, it looks like, if you go back 2 days ago, Chelsea looked favourites. Sterling comes in. The day after, it's back to Juventus, they're favourites. Now, Damasio today, the day after, has said that they're dropping out now because it's too expensive. Well, one thing you can take from this, though, is that United haven't buckled. And that has to be looked at as a good sign as well. It's like, our terms, our deal off. It's as simple as that. And this sort of standard and precedent that they're setting, even if you're looking to get rid of a player desperately, still isn't going to tip United over the edge and go down the road of a deal that they don't want to happen. And this is what I feel is the best thing about everything that's happening right now still. And it is painful for me to still see Jadon Sancho in a United shirt. But I think it's for the better of the football club that we stand our ground in these negotiations. And you know what? Juventus may even come back in. I put that in the poll there. Just if you have just started... If you've just started the stream, you've just joined us right now, we have a poll running. Please get voting in the poll. Deadline day outcome. Simple question. Sancho and Sterling swap. Sancho last gasp Juve deal. Sancho to Chelsea and no Sterling. And Sancho stays and Sterling goes to Arsenal. What is your favourite? Right now, Sancho last gasp deal for Juve is leading the way on 30%, but it's tight between all of them, which tells you exactly where everybody is at right now, with not knowing where this is going. And this is what this last week of the transfer window has done to everybody, where you look like you had dead certs and everything was in place. It has just completely spun around, and now we've got no idea what's going on. And it's going to go right to the wire now. So expect a busy day of announcements tomorrow with the players leaving in terms of McTominay, players coming in, Agate. Obviously, we've had Kune's medical today as well. So there'll be plenty of announcements tomorrow. I just don't know. I've got a feeling we're going to be up late tomorrow covering everything that's going on with Manchester United's transfer speculation, news, and everything that's actually happening. So, yeah, let's just see how this pans out and let's read through what's actually happening and discuss it amongst ourselves, which is why I'm glad to be back in the studio so I can bring up your conversations and your chats right now and let me know how you're feeling about this. Let's get into some of what you guys are saying in the live chat right now. I'm going to scroll up. There is Sancho, Antony and Casemiro to clear up. It isn't easy unless Woodward is appointed to run a different team. Yesterday, you were spamming constantly. Oh, and that's someone killing one of the other people in the chats. I'll leave the mods to do their job. United forever. Get rid of Sancho and buddy boy Rashford. If it was that easy, you can see right now that United are actually trying to, but it is easier said than done. Did you see McTominay arriving in Napoli like a rock star? He was loving that, Lord. He was. Everyone arrives in Italy and them sort of fanatical run football clubs looking like an absolute legend, don't they? It's brilliant. But, yeah, I think it would have been a shock to the system for Scott. Obviously, all he's known is Man United all his career, and then he's walked into that in Napoli. It's like, whoa, hello, what's going on right now? Bet that plane that was supposed to be waiting for Sancho, a pilot must be bored by now. Hey, look, the medicals were also lined up apparently, according to some reports. But it is exactly what happens in the transfer window. We've been here before. We have been here before. Deals happen late on in windows, and deals can collapse late on in windows. Right now, I'm not particularly too overstressed about it. I said I wasn't really keen on Sterling. I tried to make a case for him, and you know what? It could still happen. If he doesn't come, not bothered. If Sancho doesn't leave, I'm not really bothered. I know that United have got the business they wanted to get done in terms of incomings, and that was the main thing. We have fleeced the squad in terms of getting rid of players as well, but still, it would have been nice if we could have got rid of a few more, and I think that was the convincer for a lot of people. Sancho leaving would have been massive for Manchester United, and it is still on. It is still on. I'm just going to read you what Romano has said on this situation right now. Chelsea are currently talking to Man United for Jadon Sancho in a separate deal from Victor Osimhen. Both deals are still being negotiated while Al Ahly have met with Osimhen's agents today in Italy. So, Napoli looking to sell Osimhen to the Saudis, possibly, or trying to sell him off to Chelsea. Romano has come out and said even if Osimhen goes to Chelsea, Sancho is still a target for Maresca. He still wants him. So the deal can still move forward on that side of things. I'm going to go into some of the other stories regarding this now and read out the reports from you guys. And it was, obviously, Damasio was the big one. For now, Jadon Sancho move to Juventus is on hold. There is little chance of seeing Jadon Sancho at Juventus. That's what was said by Damasio not too long ago. I'm just going to bring up some other reports now and read them through to you guys as well, so you know you're completely up to date. The Telegraph are reporting Agate and McTominay will be announced tomorrow on deadline day. Sancho has been offered to Borussia Dortmund during the final hours of the summer transfer window. Dortmund are considering putting a last-minute offer in. We talked about that as well. I personally look at that as a bullshit. I don't see that happening. But yes, Sancho, there is little chance. Again, Damasio and a few other reporters going into that one. I'm waiting to see. I feel like we are going to be on the late one right now. Another one that Damasio said was Jadon Sancho to the Juventus currently on hold. There is little chance he wants to sign that he signs with them. The transfers of Filip Kostic and Arthur are blocking the move. Juventus trying to do their deals around Jadon Sancho as well. And United are just like, look, Juventus are spending all this money on all these other players and then trying to sting us for a loan deal for Jadon Sancho. It's not happening. And we're happy, and we should be happy as a fan base, that Ineos are standing firm on this because they are. Voted for Sterling to Arsenal just because it's Arsenal, says SLD. Adam, it's not ideal, but I'd swap Sancho for Sterling. Just get him out of our club. Hope you enjoy your break away. I did very much. Thank you, everyone, for asking. The United Couple podcast is in the link in the description, guys, as well, for everything that happened on our little break while covering transfer news and everything. Go give that a watch. He can drop his wages. Players have done it before. I don't think on loan, no. And you know what? It's his wages have already dropped by 25%. So I don't think he's going to be keen on dropping them again from that amount. And that's the issue that United have got here as well. So it's not a case of drop his wages from what he was on last season, because he's not on that anymore. 25% less. I don't think he would drop him again, personally, when he doesn't want. It's not like he doesn't want to go, but it's not his problem to deal with. So why would you deal with that problem and try and make it easier for the club who's trying to move you on? You're not going to, are you, naturally? You're going to stand your ground, and I think that's what Jadon Sancho is actually doing. We have over 1,800 in the room with us right now, everybody. Please do give the video a like. Let's get that up around 700 live likes. I told you I want 1,100 likes in total for this video. I think that is an easy target for you guys. You've been smashing it for a while now, so I won't even say over the last week. You have killed it this week, though. Monas USA. Adam, the team, in my humble opinion, has sold some wrong players. I would have kept Alvaro and Hannibal. My 8 that must go is Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Ericsson, Casemiro, Anthony, Mount, and Rasha. Sancho to that as well. 100%. I think we've sold the right players, personally. There's a lot more, I'm with you, that need to be added to that list. I do agree with that. I do. Super chats in from Aram says, what happened to Juve's private jet? Ornstein spoke about. Private jets can be on hold forever and a day. Doesn't matter. They'll have a jet lined up for whenever they need one. So it can still happen. And don't count out any move for Jadon Sancho just because of this news today. Juve could come straight back in. So really, it is going to be one of them deadline day scrambles. I actually think we'll hear more tonight overnight. And I think tomorrow morning's show is going to be jam-packed with loads of stuff. And it is going to be completely stay tuned and make sure that your phone notifications are on tomorrow for any updates, because it's going to be one of them crazy days. I still feel there's a little bit of me that thinks that Jadon Sancho is still going to go. There is a little bit that Juve come back in. Do United desperately want to get rid of him? And do they buckle to the pressure? Or are they just looking at it, this is better for the long term, like I said a minute ago, just, you know what, if we stand by our guns now, then in the future transfer windows, this will hold us in good stead. But another problem we've got, and a good report that came out earlier on, is that Victor Lindelof now is going to be staying at Manchester United. And it's not because of the injury, it's because of the wages. If he went to Lazio, get this, even if United paid, say for instance, 50% of his wages and he went on loan, Lazio could still not afford the wages of Victor Lindelof. I've got a big problem with Victor Lindelof. Everybody knows that. But again, this isn't Victor Lindelof's problem. This is his contract renewal that he's on and the stupid wages that he's on. And another player that United brought in that they just cannot get rid of. So you'll be looking at plenty of players over the next 2 transfer windows just walking out the door because Ineos stood their ground and didn't buckle to stupid deals. Look, we're not going to succumb to this. And it wasn't their fault that these players' deals were actually going away and just finishing and finalising as they were taking their first summer in charge of Manchester United's sporting operations. It's not their fault. There's nothing that they could have done. There's nothing that they can do. The contracts are binding. They're in place. Lindelof will want a bit of a payout. United are not willing to do that. They can't afford to send him out on loan because he's in his last year anyway. But that was an example that was made. Like, even if it was a loan for Lindelof, Lazio couldn't afford half of his wages. And he's just going to end up walking out the door to someone else and getting crap wages, a big step down in terms of club and where he's going, because he is another one who's just sat behind that wage and not really been bothered about getting first-team football. We should have known, really. Like, it'd be great to see him go, but even I should know that Lindelof is not going to be in any rush to leave Manchester United. He's not been in any rush for the last 3 years when he should have been sold and a replacement coming for him. It's too little too late for Victor Lindelof, and it wasn't, and it's not me saying that in sense of that's why it's Ineos' fault this summer. It's because it isn't Ineos' fault. It's United's fault. Again, like Sancho, it's United's fault. Sancho and Lindelof, both the club's fault for the stupid wages that they're on. And why nobody will buy them? Like, the amount of money, like, we've moved on McTominay, cheapish wages. We've moved on Wan-Bissaka, cheapest wages. Greenwood was an obvious one. His wages weren't high either. All of the players that we've got rid of weren't on ridiculous wages. As soon as we've come to the headaches in the transfer window, the problems have mounted and we can't get them out because we're dealing with a rock and a hard place, aren't we? We're dealing with Ineos standing their ground and a player that really doesn't have to do anything. And let's be honest, like we've said before, with these agents in now, running the game the way that they are, he's just going to say to Jadon, look, they want to move you on. You just sit still, take your sweet little time, and let's see what comes out of this. But we're going to sit here and do nothing. Yes, your Chelsea high life and your wages are probably going to be higher than Chelsea. So maybe if your push comes to shove and you're told, make a decision, we go to Chelsea, but let's not jump the gun. Let's not go too quickly. So that's where we're at with Jadon Sancho. And I think with the agents involved these days and everything that goes on with them, there is absolutely nothing you can do to counter it. And sadly, that's just the way that football is going now. Lindelof, 120 grand a week. He's never getting that in a million years anywhere else. And he's got a year left on his contract. He will sit on the bench as sixth choice centre-back and say, let's just take in this money right now. I seriously have to question players with that. Will Lindelof take a massive pay cut to actually go and play football? He will get a payout because he's in his last year. Is that not enough? Is that not enough for you? Honestly, it baffles me. Yeah, he's got one more big move out of him and then that's it. His career over. Players' careers are short. But should you have not invested that money safely, the millions that you've actually had off the football club, it's more than enough to live off for the rest of your bleeding life, surely. But no, it has to be more. It's always more. And it's always driven by the agents. Let's get into some more of your chat on these. Talk to me about Lindelof as well as Jadon Sancho. Everything is Jadon Sancho's fault. The rain and the snow in Norway is Sancho's fault. Boot him out. Forget about him. Oh, the snow in Norway, I think, isn't Jadon Sancho's fault. I don't know if you're being sarcastic there and having a go at Jadon. I didn't say it was Jadon Sancho's fault in this video. I did say it was Manchester United's fault regarding the money. And it was. And it always has been. And that's why we're dealing with Lindelof and Jadon Sancho in the same problem. Like, a sensible deal was Wan-Bissaka. Not on too much money. Contract's ending. We sold him on. Got a little bit of money back for him. Everybody's happy. It was the same with all the other. But look at all the players we've sold. And look at the wages that they're on. That should tell you everything. That should tell you everything. It's like you put Aaron Wan-Bissaka together with Jadon Sancho. Sorry, no, you put Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Mason Greenwood and Scott McTominay together, and you're still hardly getting near Jadon Sancho's wage. That's the problem I'm talking about. That's the problem that we're dealing with. And until we get Ineos in power for at least 3 years and they rid this football club of all of these headaches and stupid contracts, we are not going to be able to get past this player power situation. It's player/agent power. That's the problem in football. When you've got idiots running a big football club like United, they take full advantage of it. And they have been leeching off United for bleeding years now, agents. And we know this. Like Ineos and the way that they've dealt with agents this summer is a different way of dealing with it. And I think that will definitely set United up for transfer windows to come. But we are still dealing with the crap. And there's nothing we can do about it. You know what scars me? Why do players care more about the money than their dream of playing football or being a footballer? Their career is short enough and it's not like they'll still get good money. Sad, really. Modern footballers. 120k a week and no one outside England can't afford it. I can't afford it for Victor Lindelof. He's not worth it. That's the problem. It's like clubs in Europe can afford 120, but it depends on the profile of player and who you're actually buying for that. 120 grand can buy you a decent player around Europe. But United have just given these players a world and given them too much too soon. And they're just living off it. And no one wants to go near them because of that. Because they weren't worth that wage. They weren't worth the money we paid for them. And they weren't worth the wage that they were being paid. Recipe for disaster. And that is an issue that has been plaguing United for God knows how long now. As the wages grew bigger, the silverware grew smaller. Yes, it did. From the Muppet Show. Alien says, if Qatar had bought United, these bums would have gone after the Prem finish, bought out and binned. No, sadly they wouldn't, Alien, because financial fair play cares for nobody. So it doesn't matter how much money you've got. Nothing would have changed this summer if Qatar was in. Let's go and ask Newcastle and the Saudis, who've got more money than the Qataris. Can't spend it. Sterling will have better effect in Manchester United than Sancho because Sterling is attacking minded. He will do more assist and United on the counter attack always. Yeah, I'm not saying that Sterling wouldn't do anything. I'm not saying that he wouldn't fit in at Manchester United. I just feel like it's a player coming in simply because we're trying to get rid of another one. And that was my whole issue with Sterling coming in. I'm not saying the player is a bad one. I'm just saying, look, he isn't the answer for United long term, is he? That was always my issue. But please do keep liking the video, guys. Over 500 likes in the chat now. Love that. Let's get that up to near 700 while we're live, guys. You know you can do it. Please, everyone, get liking the video. Make sure you have subscribed as well. Welcome along, all new subscribers. We're bringing you every bit of Manchester United news, thick and fast, as it drops live 3 times a day. Always. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions and getting into the chat. Let's check where this poll is right now. So, deadline day outcome. We've had over 1,500 votes. Let's see if we can get that over 2,000 as well. Sancho, Sterling swap. Sancho, last gasp, Juve deal. Sancho to Chelsea with no Sterling the other way. And Sancho stays, Sterling goes to Arsenal. Keep voting on that one. Sancho, last gasp, Juve deal at 31% is just leading the way from Sancho to Chelsea with no Sterling. That is the other option in there that is close right now. Okay. News on Mason Mount came out as well. We need to touch on it. We have to. It's disappointing. It's really annoying. We did mention it earlier on that I was told that there was going to be news coming out that the Mason Mount injury was worse than first thought. Of course it was. It's Mason Mount. I've already seen people saying that Ten Hag can't catch a break with these injuries. Let's be honest. We didn't rely on Mason Mount last season. It was a bonus if he stayed fit this season, so we're pretty much still in the same boat as we was last. We've got Bruno Fernandes there, and we've already got attackers which can fill in for Mason Mount. No issue in terms of squad and depth and who can come in and having cover. Gutted for Mason Mount. That is a big issue. And again, now we're looking at a player that's going to be missing another 6 weeks at the start of a season. Again, it isn't good enough for United. And I do fear for his future now, Mason Mount. I just don't ever think he's going to get fit. That is how a player can keep on getting injured and injured and injured. Like, there's no way you can rely on Mason Mount anymore. Sadly, it is going to come to an end. And it's not going to be in the best way. Mason Mount, I feel, he's doomed, isn't it? He's cursed. A hamstring injury right now, which, according to reports, is going to see him out till at least October. Again, he's then got to get back in the squad. He's got to get back in training, which takes a couple of weeks to recover again from the injury. And you may not see Mason Mount now till November properly starting a game for United, because obviously someone else is going to come in. Someone else is actually going to take his place and hopefully earn that spot and stay there. And then he's got to break back into the side again. I think Mason Mount is going to be used sparingly as a substitute, and that is his United career. I do think if this carries on, if he can get out of this injury and come back, then he's got half a chance. But if he gets one more injury after this one this season, he's on the transfer list. I think Ineos are taking what they can for him, and he's leaving. You can't have players like this, sadly. As good as he is, he's unfortunate. He just keeps on picking up injuries, and United will not be able to rely on players like that. And I feel like that is going to force him out of the door. And I think his United days are numbered if this keeps on happening. United should let me do the medicals by a conference call. I could get a medical done in 2 minutes, says Jonathan. The number 7 shirt again. Yep, it definitely is a curse, that number 7 shirt. But still, he shouldn't have been getting it in the first place. He shouldn't have. Mount 300 grand a week. He's not on that. No one will want his salary. Another Martial. No, he's not on 300 grand a week. He's on a little bit less than that, and it's still ridiculous on its own. Take number 7 shirts off Mount. He should never have been given it in the first place, says Tony. Terrible buy for the Prince, Mason Mount. Please tell me, Adam, who do we have on the bench to play as an attacking midfielder? Well, you've got Bruno there already, who's not going to get injured. You've got Ahmad, who can play in that position as well. Xerxes plays in that position as well. Need I go on? Obviously, we can have Mainu play in that position as well. That's where he played in the youth team before he came into the first team. We have got umpteen options at attacking midfield for me. And we didn't need to buy Mason Mount. We needed to buy the midfielder we're buying this summer. The holding midfielder, the Agate type player. That's what United should have been buying last summer. But we're a year behind, and now we're playing catch-up again because of the ineptitude of what this club has been run like for the last 10 years. Italy deadline day is Saturday, not tomorrow. But, no, you could easily look at it that way in terms of Jadon Sancho. But I feel like we're looking at this as our deadline day because we want to sell him to Chelsea. I think that's more important. Do they wait it out to see if United can get a deal done and then come back to United with a last-ditch effort to get Jadon Sancho? And then we're sort of stuck in a real difficult spot then, because Juve would hold the upper hand then. And you're looking down the barrel of having to send him out on loan with an option to buy. And I think that's the only way United get rid of him from that point. It just depends if United get a decent enough loan fee. But from what Damasio has said earlier on, just to recap a little bit for anyone who's just joining us, Damasio has said that there's not a chance. Don't expect Jadon Sancho to be playing football in a Juventus shirt next season. It's too much. The deal is not right for Juve. United have turned them down, and we now have to go back to the drawing board. But reports are also saying that United are definitely communicating with Chelsea, and that deal can get done. So, are Chelsea now our only options? Well, we'll see. A lot of you are still saying that it is going to be Juve coming with a last gasp deal for Jadon Sancho and take him away on deadline day. Honestly, we can't be signing characters like Sancho anymore. People need to vet players' background, attitudes, mentality, everything that stops this mess and stress. Sancho has to go. Just pay him off. United looking to make as much money as possible in a situation where they haven't got a lot to spend. And I just don't think we're going to be in a position to just let Jadon Sancho leave or even pay him out, to that matter. What did you guys think of the new Champions League draw? Obviously tomorrow, I think at lunchtime, is the Europa League draw. So we'll be dealing with that as well tomorrow. So that should be interesting. And yeah, we're moving on to Liverpool as well tomorrow, as well as obviously deadline day, the Europa League draw, and then looking ahead to a massive game against Liverpool. I think obviously now we will see Xerxes start. We must see Xerxes start in that game. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. And obviously Ten Hag's press conference as well in all of this mess. Fancy having a press conference on deadline day. Obvious questions are coming in that one, aren't they? And you're just going to get the usual Ten Hag batting off them silly questions moments again in the press conference. And we know what he's going to say. We'll give you information when we have information. And that's all you're going to get from Ten Hag in the press conference, especially regarding possible transfers. But that is pretty much where Sancho is at. We know where Sterling is at. I will be back later on as well, even if we have breaking news. I've got a feeling that there's going to be more and more come about now. Over the next few hours, I think we're going to get updates on everything that's going on. It's getting too late in the day for it not to be. And I think that's what we have to look at in this situation now. We have to say, look, there is going to be news coming out soon. One way or another, we're going to get clarity over the next 24 hours on Sancho and Sterling, and the window is done. And we can just fully concentrate on bleeding football and hopefully not getting any more injuries, and not talking about injuries with Mason Mount or any other bloody demic player that we've got in our bleeding squad. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the word injury. There's someone blaming us for the news that's come out. I don't believe anything you're all saying anymore. Yesterday it was said loan agreement. Yes, we were told loan agreement as well. It's not like we make the news up, mates. We just talk about what's actually going on in the news, and then we talk about it amongst ourselves as United fans and discuss what we think is right going forward. We shouldn't have bought Mount in the first place. Biggest waste of money, just like Antony. Murto, you want to just give Liverpool the 3 points now? I might take it easy on you. Keep it under 7. Really don't want to grind you down anymore. Much rather have you as rivals than 115. Look, I fancy United to beat Liverpool just because we're under the cosh. And when our backs are to the wall, Liverpool always turn up. And United, under Ten Hag, love a good game at Old Trafford against Liverpool. So I expect United to... I think United will beat Liverpool, weirdly. It's crazy, isn't it? We beat them by 2 or more goals, and we actually go ahead of them in the league, and that will be funny. Guys, there is a link in the chat there, pinned up. Hospitality tickets from our partners from Football Prizes are on offer. The prize is obviously alongside some others as well. You could also win a Kobe Mainoo signed shirt, one of the new Manchester United jerseys as well. But the main prize is hospitality tickets to the game at Old Trafford against Spurs. Click on the link in the live chat. It is also in the description for anybody who's watching later on. Click on that and have your chance of winning this amazing prize. And you could even come and see me outside of Old Trafford as well. But yeah, football prizes, our partners here on FUTV, offering 2 hospitality tickets for the Spurs game coming up in a few weeks' time. Get your chances to win them tickets now. The draw is going to be live as well for you guys to watch, I think, on Monday. So please just jump across onto that link and grab yourself a ticket to be part of the draw. And that pretty much is us all wrapped up, everybody. We are back, and we are back in business. It is going to be a mad last day, but we've got you covered. You guys think that Jadon Sancho will get a last gasp deal to Juve. That's what the poll is saying. 31% of you have said it will be Juve coming in at the last to actually get Jadon Sancho out of Manchester United. Please do give the video a like, guys, on the way out. We're nearly at that 700 mark that we said we wanted to get to. 640. We need 60 more likes. I'm sure with everybody in the chat right now, we could get them. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the mods and everybody in the chat as well. With all of your contributions, comments, getting involved in the polls and everything like that. It is a fantastic community here on FUTV. Our transfer window is nearly over. We are going to be doing something a little bit different for tomorrow morning to kickstart transfer day. Transfer deadline day. So stay tuned to that, everyone. In the description as well is the link to the United Couple podcast. Click on that. Go watch what was happening with me and Kaz down there on the Dorset coast as deadline day was approaching. Trying to have a break while Manchester United's deadline and transfers are going on. Absolutely mental. That is a behind-the-scenes look there on that. Go click on that as well. Give it a watch. Give us your feedback because that is more important than anything. Subscribe to the United Couple and give it a like as well, guys. Thank you, everybody. Again, absolute amazing numbers. As always, you did an amazing job. I will see you all bright and early tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Unless something comes tonight, then obviously I've got you covered. But yes, stay tuned for the morning show. It is going to be something a bit different just to kickstart deadline day. But for now, that is us all wrapped up. Thank you, everybody. Amazing show. I will see you all in the morning.